Hello there, welcome to Plus Talk on Plus Life. We're all about turning positive into a plus. AIDS Walk LA hits the streets this weekend with the theme Community is the Cure. And if you think AIDS Walks don't matter anymore, well, APLA Health CEO Craig Thompson is here to tell us why they actually do. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you for having me.
No, I can't believe we're at October and it's AIDS Walk LA already.
Absolutely. This year has flown by.
It has flown by. The theme this year, Community is the Cure. Tell me what that means to you personally and why you guys have chosen the theme for this year.
I think it's acknowledging a truth, and that is to end the epidemic, to really make that final push. It's going to take more than science, more than patients, more than the community. It's going to take all of us working together to really do the final push and end the epidemic.
Yeah, and you're right. And one thing I always notice at AIDS Walk LA is that community sense is just phenomenal. I mean, literally thousands of people.
That's right.
And as I said, a lot of people think that, well, why are we still doing AIDS walks? You know, AIDS, we've got PrEP, you know, we've got the whole U equals U. Why do these things still matter? Why in 2025?
Well, I think first of all, there's a fundraising component, which I cannot, underestimate, and particularly this year with the federal funding cuts that we've taken, that encumbered money that we receive from AIDS Walk is really important for our programs and services or for our clients. But also, in some ways, AIDS Walk Week and AIDS Walk Month in Los Angeles has replaced sort of World AIDS Day as our one time a year where we get people's attention, where we get shows like this, we're on morning television, we get news stories to remind people that the epidemic is not over, that there are people we still need to take care of, and we still have new infections happening.
And a lot of those new infections are happening in Gen Zers. Many who think, as I said, oh yeah, well, is it a thing? I mean, I had a guest on the other day talking about that, no one really thinks it's an issue anymore. Why should Gen Z care and maybe even show up on Sunday?
Well, I think that first of all, they have the opportunity to be the generation that ends AIDS. And we do have a lot of Gen Z support and even high school kids supporting it. And I love to see them. And when you talk to them, they do have this sort of mission. And a lot of them are involved. Maybe they had a relative or older folks. This is something they learned in history. And they have the opportunity to be the generation that actually ends the epidemic. I think also, though, we've really tried to destigmatize HIV. And you and I both know how stigmatizing it can be, and particularly in the early years. And so we've put this message out that indirectly, HIV is no big deal. You take one pill a day, you can live a full, productive life. Yeah, that's absolutely true, but do you really want to be tied to that one pill a day? And so we need to get that message out that yes, it's not a big deal, and yes, if something were to happen, you'll be okay, but better to take precautions and not have it happen.
Yeah, well, wouldn't it be great if none of us had to be taking pills or injections for the rest of our lives? AIDS Walk LA has been around for decades. It was the first, wasn't it, in
Correct.
the country? In the world or in the country?
In the world.
In the world. How have these walks changed since the 80s and 90s?
So I think originally, the walk came out of a place of anger.
Yeah.
The first walk actually was scheduled, and during the time when the walk was being planned, Rock Hudson died. And that was a catalytic moment for the United States, somebody that they knew who had this disease. So it had been very much in the shadows, very sort of in the gay community, not covered by the press, and so there was a piece. So it was originally really about anger with the government, and it was really a march and a fundraising piece. And there was no federal government support, so the money was, the only money that we had was we were raising privately. And then now the walk continues to reflect the times that we're in. So now when you go out to the walk, you will see families with photographs of somebody that they lost, walking in memory. And then you'll see again high school kids who don't know anybody with HIV, but are caught up with the idea that, look, we can be the generation that ends this thing. We can be the generation that makes that change. And everything in between.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, again, the energy in the atmosphere at these walks is just, it's electric, and it's incredibly emotional for those of us living with HIV.
Yep.
When I see so many, as you said, high school students and young people coming out, and they're all there for that we're all there for that common goal. It gets to you emotionally. We talked about raising money. It is a fundraiser. It has raised millions over the years. Where does the money go? How does it get distributed?
So it's a community event, so it's APLA and other community-based organizations.
Yep.
And so a lot of the smaller grassroots HIV organizations, this is where the bulk of their money may come from for the year. And so that's always been a critical factor within AIDS Walk Los Angeles. We've always felt it was very important for it to support the community and not just AIDS Project Los Angeles, now APLA Health.
Yeah.
Our portion of the money goes to our HIV support services. So this is medical, dental, behavioral health, food, transportation, housing for people living with HIV, and also our prevention services to make sure that we can get to an AIDS-free generation.
And I know that APLA Health does, as you've sort of listed, a lot more than people realize. What services are you most proud of for people living with HIV that some of us may not even know that you guys do at APLA Health?
So I think the basic support services are really critical. I'm really concerned and I'm really passionate about the HIV positive folks over the age of 50. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our clients in that cohort have been living with HIV for many years. Unfortunately, the new treatments didn't come in time to really turn their lives around. So they've been sort of stuck living on a disability check for 20 or 25 years. So the good news is they're still alive. The bad news is that they're low income, they're isolated, they have chronic health conditions, not only HIV, and they need a lot of our help.
And PTSD too.
And oh my God, they're a generation with no cohort around them.
Yeah.
They lost friends, they lost lovers. I mean, the data shows that if you were living in a big city, New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, in the 80s, more than half of your colleagues got AIDS, and the vast majority of those folks died.
Yeah.
So, and this is long before gay marriage,
Yeah.
right? No, don't have kids. Oftentimes rejected by their families when they found out they were gay.
Yeah.
And so these are the folks we're taking care of, and we're committed to taking care of as long as they're still with us.
Good, I love that. So for someone who's watching, maybe has never thought about doing the walk, but this has piqued their interest, why should they come down on Sunday and be a part of this? Or anywhere around the world, anywhere around the country for that matter, with AIDS Walks.
Yeah, I think it always is wonderful to connect yourself and feel a part of something. But I think these days, particularly in the America that's sort of torn apart and a lot of us are feeling a little bit lost, I think spending that morning on Sunday morning gives you the opportunity to be with other like-minded people, to see the positive energy, to see optimism and commitment all there, and to be part of something. And even if it's just for a morning, feeling part of something, I think these days sounds really attractive.
It sure does. Well, there you have it. AIDS Walks, it's not just about the miles, it's about the movement. Craig Thompson from APLA Health, thank you so much for stopping by.
Absolutely.
That is going to do it for this episode of Plus Talk. What do you think? Leave a comment below. And remember, you can like, follow, and share. We're across all your favorite socials at Plus Life Media, and the website is pluslifemedia.com. If you want to see this conversation in its entirety or other conversations that we've had on Plus Talk, head over to our YouTube page at Plus Life Official. Until next time, be nice to one another. Go check out the streets of West Hollywood for AIDS Walk LA this Sunday. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.